My dad invited 124 people to his wedding and forgot to put me on the guest list. I only found out when the concierge handed me a standing room only wristband next to the gift table, while my step-cousins I'd never met sat in the front row. The kicker? I'm a presidential elite member at that exact hotel. They knew my coffee order, my favorite room number, even my dog's birthday. But my own father? He couldn't remember to write my name on a piece of paper. So tell me, which city are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments because this story is about to get wild. Now, let's jump into what happened when the hotel treated me more like family than my actual family ever did. 3 months ago, I was sitting in my corner office overlooking downtown Seattle when my assistant knocked. "Your dad's online too," she said, and my stomach did that familiar twist it always does when Michael Sterling decides to remember he has a daughter. "Sweetheart," his voice boomed through the speaker, all charm and zero substance. "I have news, Evelyn and I are getting married." Evelyn, his girlfriend of 18 months who's exactly 3 years older than me. The same woman who accidentally deleted me from the family group chat and somehow always scheduled their dinner parties on my birthday. "Congratulations," I managed, while my emotional support dog Olive, a pristine white Maltipoo, sensed my tension and jumped into my lap. June 15th at the Montague Resort in Napa, black tie. It's going to be spectacular. The Montague, my hotel. The place where I'd spent $200,000 over the past 5 years hosting client events, closing deals, and honestly hiding from family drama in their world-class spa. I was their youngest presidential elite member in history. "I'll be there," I said, already mentally calculating which suite I'd book. "Perfect. Evelyn will send the details." Spoiler alert, Evelyn never sent anything. Fast forward to June 14th. I pulled up to the Montague in my Tesla, Olive in her custom Louis Vuitton carrier, wearing the $8,000 Oscar de la Renta dress I'd bought specifically to show Evelyn that being excluded from family shopping trips didn't mean I couldn't outshine her. "Miss Sterling," the valet Thomas beamed, "welcome back. Penthouse 12 is ready for you." "Thomas, you're an angel." The lobby smelled like money and jasmine. Everything was decorated in white roses and gold ribbons for tomorrow's wedding. My wedding? Well, my father's wedding. The one I was apparently attending. That's when I saw her, Evelyn, spray-tanned within an inch of her life, directing staff like she owned the place. The Sterling Morrison wedding, she was saying to the concierge. "I need to review the final guest list." I approached with Olive. "Evelyn." Her face went through 3 expressions: surprise, annoyance, and finally that fake smile she'd perfected. "Oh darling, you made it." "Of course I made it. It's my father's wedding. Right? Well," she turned to the concierge, a young man named James who'd helped me through many late-night room service orders. "James, can you get our last-minute addition sorted? Standing room, I think." James looked confused. "Standing room, but Miss Sterling is..." "Standing room," Evelyn repeated, her voice sharp. "Behind the florals. We're completely full." Have you ever felt your heart shatter in real time? Like someone took everything you thought you knew and just lit it on fire? Comment below if you've been there because I need to know I'm not alone in this. James looked mortified. He knew me. He knew my status. But he handed me a paper wristband. "Standing room only," it said in Comic Sans font. Comic Sans, at a black tie wedding. "There must be a mistake," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "No mistake," Evelyn chirped. "We had to make cuts. Family first, you understand." Family first. I was his daughter, his only child. But apparently, that meant less than her third cousins from Alabama. I was about to walk out, tears threatening my Tom Ford mascara, when a voice cut through the lobby like a knife through butter. "Miss Sterling, is everything all right?" Grace Chen, the general manager, stood there in her impeccable Chanel suit, 60 years old, silver hair and a perfect chignon, and the kind of presence that made CEOs nervous. "Everything's fine," Evelyn interjected. "Just sorting out overflow guests." Grace's eyebrow arched. "Overflow? Miss Sterling is presidential elite. She doesn't do overflow." "This is a private event," Evelyn tried. "In my hotel," Grace responded coolly. Then to me, "Lauren darling, let's talk in my office." As we walked away, Olive growled at Evelyn. "Good girl." Grace's office was all mahogany and authority. She poured me champagne without asking. "Standing room," she said, disgusted. "At your own father's wedding. Apparently I'm not on the list." Grace typed something into her computer. You've stayed here 47 times in 2 years. You've referred 12 clients who became members. Your company's annual gala brings us $500,000 in revenue. She looked up. Your family here. Not the family that matters, apparently. We'll see about that. She made a phone call. Marcus?
Yes.
I need penthouse 12 upgraded to the presidential suite. Full amenities. And tomorrow for the Sterling Morrison wedding, I need a seat adjustment. Front row. Lauren Sterling. Make the placard gold. Grace, you can't. I can and I will. Hotel policy, presidential elite members receive premium placement at all events within our venue. It's in the contract your father signed. That's when things got interesting. The next morning I walked into that ballroom like I owned it. Olive had a bow that matched my dress. The gold placard with my name sat front and center, right next to where my dad would stand. Evelyn saw it first. Her face went from bride glow to horror movie in 3 seconds flat. What is this? She grabbed James. Remove her, now. I can't. Mrs. Morrison, Miss Sterling is seated according to hotel policy. I'm the bride, and she's presidential elite. Have you ever watched someone have a full breakdown in couture? It's both sad and oddly satisfying. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Evelyn pulled out her phone and showed James something. See? She declined the invitation months ago. She's not even supposed to be here. My blood went cold. What invitation? She showed me an email. From my email address. Declining the wedding invitation and saying some pretty horrible things about their relationship. I never sent this. I said, your email, your words. Evelyn smirked. But then Olive, my brilliant little troublemaker, jumped from my arms and ran straight to my father, who just walked in. Olive. He lit up, then saw me. Lauren, sweetheart, you came. Of course I came, but Evelyn said you refused. Said you wanted nothing to do with us. The room went silent. Evelyn went pale. Dad, check the metadata on that email. Thank God for my tech background. Within minutes we'd pulled up the email details. Sent from Evelyn's laptop. Using a spoofed address. The wedding music started playing. Guests were arriving. And my father stood there looking between his daughter and his bride-to-be. You told me my daughter hated me, Dad said, his voice deadly quiet. Michael, I can explain. You deleted her from the guest list. She's always trying to come between us. She's my daughter. What happened next was pure chaos. Evelyn in her panic stepped backward and crashed into the 7-tier wedding cake. It toppled. Olive barked. Guests gasped. And $50,000 worth of sugar art became floor decoration. Evelyn screamed that it was Olive's fault, tried to grab her. That's when Grace appeared again, like some sort of hospitality superhero. Mrs. Morrison, I'll have to ask you to step back from the animal. That rat destroyed my wedding. That rat is registered as an emotional support animal for one of our most valued guests. Any aggression toward her or Miss Sterling will result in immediate removal from the premises. This is my wedding. This is my hotel, Grace replied. The comment section is going to go crazy, but I need to know. Would you have stayed for the ceremony after this, or would you have walked? Tell me below. I made my choice. I stood up, picked up Olive and looked at my father. Dad, you have a decision to make. But know this, I've been standing room only in your life for 15 years. First it was Mom's death, then Stephanie, then Karen, now Evelyn. Every woman you've chosen has pushed me further into the background, and you've let them. Lauren, please. The hotel knew my name. Dad, they knew my dog's favorite treats. They knew I was family. But you couldn't even remember to put me on the list. I walked toward the door, Grace beside me, when Evelyn made her last mistake. Let her go, Michael. She's just like her mother, always making everything about her. The slap of my father's hand hitting the table echoed through the ballroom. Don't you ever speak about my late wife again. I spent the rest of that day in the presidential suite. Grace had sent up everything: champagne, caviar, a dog masseuse for Olive. Yes, that's a thing. My phone exploded with texts. The wedding was off. Evelyn had been escorted out. Dad was devastated, but I wasn't ready, not yet. That evening there was a knock. Grace stood there with my father. 5 minutes, she told him. That's all I promised you. He looked older, tired. The champagne flute in his hand shook slightly. I've been a terrible father, he said. Yes, I loved your mother so much that when she died I kept trying to fill that void. And every woman I brought in felt threatened by you because you look just like her. Act like her. That brilliant, stubborn, beautiful spirit. So you let them erase me. I was a coward. I thought if I gave them what they wanted, everyone would be happy. Everyone but me. Olive walked over to him, tail wagging slightly. Even after everything, she remembered the man who used to share custody, who used to care. What do you want, Dad? A chance. Not today, not tomorrow, but someday, to earn back my daughter. And Evelyn gone, forever. The prenup has a fraud clause. Turns out she's been lying about a lot more than just emails. I looked at this man who gave me life but couldn't give me love. At Olive who looked between us hopefully. At Grace who'd shown me more loyalty in one day than he had in years. One dinner, I said. Next month, here in the restaurant where they know my name. 6 months later I got a package. Inside was a velvet box with a note. For my daughter who taught me the difference between a guest list and a life list. Inside was my mother's locket, the one I thought he'd given to Evelyn. But now it had 3 pictures. Mom, me and Olive. The hotel? I basically live there now. Grace and I have tea every Tuesday. She tells me stories about the disasters she's prevented, and I tell her about my father's slow journey to redemption. Did I forgive him? That's the million-dollar question everyone asks. Here's the truth. Forgiveness isn't a moment, it's a mortgage. You pay it off slowly, in installments of trust and time. But that day taught me something powerful. When someone shows you who you are to them, believe them. And when an organization treats you better than your own blood, maybe, just maybe family isn't about DNA. It's about who saves you a seat at the table, even when the bride tries to make you stand. Grace called me last week. Your father's here, she said. He's asking about our private dining room. Says he wants to book it monthly. For family dinners. What did you tell him? That family gets a discount. But only real family. The kind that shows up. So here's my question for you. And I really need you to answer this. Have you ever had to choose between the family you were born into and the family you found? How did you decide who deserved your loyalty? Because I'm here to tell you. Sometimes the people who share your blood don't share your values. And sometimes a hotel manager and a tiny white dog understand love better than the man who gave you his last name. I still stay at the Montague, still presidential elite. But now there's a new perk, they added just for me. Whenever I check in, they put a little golden placard on my door. It says family suite, not because of my father, not because of my status, but because sometimes the only family that matters is the one that never makes you stand in the back row of your own life. Olive agrees. And honestly, she's the only family whose opinion I trust completely. She never forgot my name. Never made me question my worth. Never needed a 5-star hotel to remind her that I mattered. Although the premium dog spa certainly doesn't hurt. If this story hit you in the feels, tell me your own family drama in the comments. Because I promise you you're not alone. We're all just trying to find our front row seat in someone's life. And sometimes we have to save that seat for ourselves.